Are you able to see the screen?
Not yet, Prabhuji.
Not yet. Okay, say share. Now, okay?
Yes.
Yes, all right now.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Dandavad Pranam.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. As I mentioned, people who come a bit late, I'm doing this service today on behalf of Rajania Prabhu and his good wife. Mother has been taken sick, so I've been doing this service. I'm speaking a bit impromptu, so please bless me. So what I speak is according to Shastra and according to the wishes of Srila Prabhupada, my Gurudev. Thank you, Hare Krishna. So I need your blessing. So we'll recite this verse. Devi Mayam Upastriya Rasutta Eva Pinatraka Tapye Divitye Api Asati Bhratar Bhatatvaya Hide Ruja Devi Mayam Upastriya Rasutta Eva Pinatraka Tapye Divitye Api Asati Bhatar Bhatavya Hide Ruja. Anybody like to speak, recite this verse, please?
Prabhuji, I am trying.
Okay, go ahead, Prabhu. Thank you.
Devi Mayam Upasritta Prashupta Eva Bhinnadrik Tappe Dityepi Ashoti Bhatri Bhatri Dhruja. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Anybody
Krishna,
else?
Prabhuji.
Yeah,
Can I
Prabhu.
try?
Yes, Prabhu, sure.
Devim mayam upasrita prashupta eva bhinnadrik tapte doiviye apiya ashati bhatri bhatri paridaruja. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. Anybody else?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, can I try?
Sure, Shamati.
Devim mayam upasritya prashupto eva bhinnadrik tapye ditye yopya shati bhatri bhatri bhyahiridruja. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mati. So nice. Anybody
Hare
else?
Krishna, Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavad Pranam,
Yes,
I am trying.
Thank you, Mati.
Daiving mayam upasritya prashupta iva bhinnadrik tappe dityapi asati bhratri bhratri bharidruja. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. So we'll do the word by word synonyms. So anybody would like to try?
Yes, I can try.
Okay.
Thank you. Daivim of the personality of Godhead, Mayam, the illusory energy, Upasritta, taking shelter of, Prashipta, dreaming while asleep, Iva, like, Bhinnadrik, having separated vision, Tappe, I lamented, Ditye, in the illusory energy, Api, although, Asati, temporary, Bhratrir, brother, Bhratribha, enemy, Prit, within the heart, Ruja, by lamentation. Thank you, Prabhu.
Okay, we'll do the translation. Anybody want to try the translation?
Yes, Prabhuji. I'm reading the translation. When I was lamented, I was under the influence of the illusory energy. Being ignorant of the actual facts, I was sleeping on her lap. Under a vision of duality, I saw my brother as my enemy, and falsely I lamented within my heart, thinking they are my enemies.
Thank you, Mati. Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu, you want to do the purport?
Okay.
You,
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Real knowledge is revealed to a devotee only when he comes to the right conclusion about life by the grace of the Lord. Our creation of friends and enemies within this material world is something like dreaming at night. In dreams, we create so many things out of various impressions in the subconscious mind. But all such creations are simply temporary and unreal. In the same way, although apparently we are awake in the material life, Because we have no information of the soul and super soul, we create many friends and enemies simply out of imagination. Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami says, within this material world or material consciousness, good and bad are the same. The distinction between good and bad is simply a mental concoction. The actual fact is that all living entities are sons of God, are byproduct of his marginal energy. Because of our being contaminated by the modes of material nature, we distinguish one spiritual spark from another. This is sorry. This is also another kind of dreaming. It is stated in the Bhagavad Gita that those who are actually learned do not make any distinction between a learned scholar, a Brahman, an elephant, a dog, or a Chandala. They do not see in the terms of external body. Rather, they see the persons as spirit soul. By higher understanding, one can know that the material body is nothing but a combination of 5 material elements. In that sense also, bodily construction of a human being and that of a demigod are one and the same. From the spiritual point of view, we are all spiritual sparks, part and parcels of the Supreme Spirit, God. Either materially or spiritually, we are basically one, but we make friends and enemies as dictated by the illusory energy. Dhruva Maharaj therefore said, Doivim Mayam Usrita, the cause of his bewilderment was his association with the illusory material energy. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much, Prabhu. So nice to hear you speak. Okay. Om Jnanatimirdaśya Jnananjana Salakaya Taksamitam Hina Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manabhistam Stapitamina Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Sa Padantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yata Padakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavam Cha Shri Rupam Shagrijatam Sahagana Raghunatham Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savabhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakha Vitam Sha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandhu Jagatpate Gopesa Gopesa Kanta Radha Kanta Namaste Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vashabhanu Satadevi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhayascha Vipa Sindhu Vacha Patitanam Pavaribhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasali Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristaya Bhutale Srimati Tama Krishna Goswami Namini Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristaya Bhutale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Namini Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Charani Vishesha Shunivadi Pashyata Desatarani. So here we are just started this chapter. Dhruva Maharaj returns home for some time, and we've been very nicely dwelling in how Dhruva Maharaj, a very exalted devotee of the Lord, with the mercy of his spiritual master, and receive personal darshan of the Lord. When his meditation broke, he could see the personal God is right in front of him. And overwhelmed by his limitation to offer prayers, the Lord within the heart gave him the benediction to offer prayers, suitable prayers, by just touching his forehead with his conch shell. the Dhruva Maharaj at that time, Prabhupada mentioned, he received all the conclusion of the Vedic literature. He doesn't say that he received everything, all the knowledge, but just the conclusion of the Vedic literature. And by that mercy and enlightenment, Dhruva Maharaj was able to offer very nice praise to the Lord. So we see that after that, he, having darshan and personal association with the Lord, and after offering these prayers, the Lord leaves Dhruva Maharaj. And Dhruva Maharaj felt very vacant in his heart. He's not very happy. And then Vidura Maharaj, this is a conversation with the Vidura Maharaj and Maitreya. So Vidura Maharaj asked Maitreya Muni, how is that having a personal darshan of the Lord, Dhruva Maharaj was not feeling happy within the heart? What is this? What is the cause? So here, Dhruva Maharaj is giving his answers. So then, why he was feeling this way. So yesterday we discussed one of the parts of lamentation, and today Dhruva Maharaj is continuing his lamentation of why he is not feeling happy within the heart, even after having personal darshan of the Lord. So sometimes we see that one would expect that when you have personal darshan of the Lord and association and benediction, one will be extremely happy, one will be blissful. But here we have the contrary reaction. Dhruva Maharaj is feeling very, very hurt and ashamed in his heart. And here we are discussing why this has happened. In the previous verse, Srila Prabhupada gave a very, very long purport, I think it's 4-page purport, where Maitreya Muni is giving the crux of Dhruva Maharaj's lamentation, why he was not feeling hurt. So let's dwell on this translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada today. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The translation. Dhruva Maharaj lamented, I was under the influence of the illusory energy, being ignorant of the actual facts. I was sleeping on her lap. Under a vision of duality, I saw my brother as my enemy, and falsely I lamented within my heart, thinking they are my enemies. So in the first sentence of this purport, Srila Prabhupada was saying, real knowledge is revealed to a devotee only when he comes to the right conclusion about the life by the grace of the Lord. So they are very, very, this Prabhupada chooses the word so succinctly, so nicely. And if you just dwell on this first sentence, we can see that Dhruva Maharaj got the grace of the Lord. Dhruva Maharaj got all the benediction and enlightenment by the grace of the Lord. So without the grace of the Lord, one cannot achieve any spiritual progress. And how one gets the grace of the Lord, we see in the our Samsara Dava prayer by Vishwanath Thakur. It says, Yaso Prasada Bhagavat Prasado Yasha Prasada Kananiti Kopi Dayam Stuvam Tashyam Ishtati Sindham Vande Guru Shri Charanarvindam. By the satisfaction of the spiritual master, the Supreme Person of Godhead becomes satisfied. And by not satisfying the spiritual master, there is no chance of being promoted to the plane of Krishna consciousness. I should therefore meditate and pray for his mercy 3 times a day, and offer my respectful obeisances unto him, my spiritual master. So the whole process of obtaining the benediction of the Lord, the first desire is to satisfy the spiritual master. Here we can see Dhruva Maharaj has so much determination. In spite of that, he might not have been able to achieve what he desired, if not for the guidance of his spiritual master, the great Saint Narad Muni. So the word grace is very important. They use this word very frequently in Christian theology. So the word grace means, from the Christian point of view, it says spontaneous, unmerited, free gift of divine favor. So it's spontaneous. The Lord comes just by his unconditional love. The Lord gives this benediction, the grace. And it's sometimes not merited in Dhruva Maharaj, because his desire was material, till the Lord blessed him. So it was quite, we can see it's not merited. And it's free, a gift for divine favor. So the Lord, being extremely merciful, was showing his favor to to Dhruva Maharaj, although he was only a five-year-old boy. From background of Dhruva Maharaj, we can see he become a very great lineage of great personalities. His father, Uttanapad, was a great king, a great emperor, and his grandfather, Swayambhanu Manu, he was the emperor of the whole universe. And then his great-grandfather is Brahma. So definitely he is coming in such a great lineage, and he had qualification to become a great devotee. So because of this Kshatriya spirit and his desire to become greater than his, get a planet greater than his great-grandfather, he was very, very desirous to do this great austerity to achieve this goal. So if it was not for the benediction of his spiritual master, he might not have been able to do this. So we see that the benediction of the spiritual master, the mercy of the spiritual master, is a key point in getting the grace of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. We see in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 10, the key slokas, the Chatur Sloki. When somebody decides very firmly to achieve the Lord within the heart gives the direction. Here we can see in chapter 10.9, I think, chapter 10.9. Tesam chatata yuktanam vayitam peti purvakam dadami buddhi yogam tam yena mam upayantite. The next sloka says, Tesam evanukam patham amagyana jamtamaha nashyami atma bhavasto jnanatipena bhasvataha. So here, the Lord is sitting within a heart, and he's saying, Satatam yuktam, testam unto them, Satatam yuktam, who always engage Bhajatam in remembering me in devotional service. So how? By Priti Purvakam, by loving ecstasy, to them I give the benediction of real knowledge to come to him. So the translation goes like this. To those who are constantly devoted to serving me with love, I give the understanding by which they can come to me. So the Lord within the heart inspires the devotee to seek out, to give him intelligence to seek him out. So there's a first desire to see the Lord, and the Lord then encourages or inspires the devotee to seek him out. And how is that? He says, Tesam evanukam patham hamagyana jam tamaha nashyami atma bhavasto jnanatipena bhasvataha. To show them special mercy, I, dwelling in the heart, destroy with the shining lamp of knowledge the darkness born with ignorance. So here the Lord, when Dhruva Maharaj was going this great austerity, within the heart, the Lord was burning all his ignorance, so Dhruva could come to the platform of loving devotional service. Although his desire was material, the Lord saw within him a great prospect and became a great devotee, unalloyed devotee of the Lord. So he was inspiring, and how the inspiration became fruitful by the mercy of his great spiritual master, Narad Muni. So this is very, very important. In all our endeavors for spiritual progress, the mercy of the spiritual master and the devotees is a key point, pivotal point. We cannot approach the Lord directly. Only through the spiritual master's mercy one can achieve this goal. And this is very, very well exemplified in Dhruva Maharaj's case. So this is one point. And then we see in the next few sentences, Prabhupada is making distinction how one creates friends and enemies. Our creation of friends and enemies within this material world is something like dreaming at night. So in the evening or in the night, one has dreams. Sometimes one is chased by a tiger, or somebody is, maybe a plane is somebody traveling in a plane. The plane crashes, and you wake up, and so you are saved. But this is all in a dream. So how is that this impression within the mind get get different typical hallucination stories, and how one wakes up when film is saved. So these dreams are different types, but they're temporary and are not real, except when you dream of spiritual master, especially when especially comes in the early morning hours. It has quite a bit of truthfulness in it. But normal dreams are illusory and temporary and flickering, not something which like a phantasmagoria. It's not real. So Prabhupada here is explaining the concept of being enemy or friends and enemies is basically because we are covered by the illusory energy of Lord, and we think ourselves in the material platform because one does not have the information of the spirit soul and the super soul. We create this enmity of friends and enemies. So we know from the Bhagavad Gita, the illusory energy of the Lord is also is very great. Is one of the energies of the Lord, and it serves the Lord by keeping the materially motivated living entities within the material world. So it's a thankless task of Durga to get this service of not keeping the presence within the heart. It's a very thankless job, but it's still one of the energies of the Lord. And one of the main purpose of this energy is to bring out transformation of the living entity, so they can reform themselves and come back to the material world. The Lord doesn't want them to remain in the material world all the time. So the Lord sends his spiritual master, his devotees, to rescue these living entities who are sleeping in the left of Maya, to come to say, Jiva Jago, come back to the Lord. So the illusory energy is being the agent of the Lord, uses this energy to rescue or to guide the people back to Godhead. So some living entities are very stubborn. They don't want to go back. So they have lots of issues in terms of ill health, mental issues. They're learned by hard knocks. Eventually, when there's no way to eliminate their distress, the Lord within the heart tells them, okay, you take shelter of a devotee. And that's how the transformation comes. And then they become eligible to go back to Godhead. So the illusory energy, because the living entity is very, very minute, infinitesimally small, and the Lord is great. So the Lord's energy sometimes covers the living entity with ignorance, and they think that they are the body, and this material world is their residence, and they completely forget because of this contamination or association with material nature from many, many lifetimes. It's very, very deep ingrained, and to remedy the situation, to bring them back to their own remembrance of being the spiritual son and daughters of the Lord, only unalloyed mercy of the devotee comes and give them this knowledge, and they become revived. So here Prabhupada is saying, because one is forgetful that all the living entities are part and parcel of the Lord, they create this unnecessary situation of being one's enemy, one's friend. They create duality, heat and cold, happiness and distress. But here Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami says, in the material world, both heat and this duality are in the same platform. They are both good and both bad and good at the same time, because they give the same result. Because they give the same result, they are looked as being equal. So then Prabhupada mentioned that the distinction between good and bad is simply a mental concoction. The actual fact is that all living entities are sons of God and byproduct of his of marginal energy. Because of our being contaminated by the modes of material nature, we distinguish one spiritual spark from another. This is also another kind of dreaming. So this bodily platform, body differentiation, acting on that platform is a dreaming stage. The real stage is that we are all spiritual entities, all living entities, spiritual beings, and all brothers and sisters. And on that platform, we are all trying to serve the Lord. Once somebody forgets that, then this duality comes in, and the living entity becomes illusion. So to illuminate this point further, we see that Srila Prabhupada quotes this very famous verse from Bhagavad Gita. This is verse 580. Vidya vinaya sampane brahmine gavi hastani sunicheva sakata kecha pandita samadarshana. The humble sages, by virtue of true knowledge, see with equal vision a learned and gentle brahmana, a cow, an elephant, a dog, and a dog eater. In this purpose, Srila Prabhupada explains, a Krishna conscious person does not make any distinction between a species or caste. A Brahmana may be outcast. The Brahmana and the outcast may be different from the social point of view, or a dog, a cow, and an elephant may be different from point of view of species, but these differences of body are meaningless from the viewpoint of learned transcendentalists. This is due to their relationship to the Supreme. For the Supreme Lord, by his plenary portion as Paramatma, is present in everyone's heart. Such an understanding of the Supreme is real knowledge. So here Prabhupada is giving two main points. Because the living entity within the heart is spiritual in nature, and there's no distinction between all different living entities, or there might be body distinction or species distinction, like cow, elephant, or a caste distinction between a Brahmana or Shudra or outcast, but these are broadly distinctions. So Prabhupada is saying one has to look within with a viewpoint of spiritual vision, with the Paramatma sitting within the heart is in everyone's. The Paramatma is within everyone's heart, and is sitting with the living entity, the soul and the super soul are there. So on that platform, everyone's equal. They are brothers and sisters, and one should not think one is enemy or one is a friend. So this is a very high vision this is a vision of Mahabhagavad. Says that Pandita Samadarshana. One who's a Pandit, a Mahabhagavad, sees everyone equally. He does not distinguish between a cow, an elephant, a dog, or a dog eater, or a Brahmana. This is a very three different types of devotees. This is the Paramhansa stage. But in the Madhyam stage, the devotee, because he wants to preach, he makes some distinction. Because if you don't, then general public might misunderstand and not come to the right conclusion. So like Prabhupada is a Mahabhagavad, but he comes to Madhyam platform just to preach the glories of the Lord, so to bring the living entities back to Godhead. So this is a bit of distinction. So although it's very high philosophy, Pandita Samadarshana, to look at everyone by virtue of transcendental knowledge with equal vision, but this is our goal, this is our platform. Unless one comes to that platform, we will not be able to go back to Godhead. So in this verse, Dhruva Maharaj is lamenting, oh, what I have done. I created this, although the Lord gave me all the goals I wanted. He wanted a planet greater than his great-grandfather. He wanted a position, and he has so many expectations or demands of the Lord. Even after achieving that, he was still not happy, because he had this issue of revengeful nature towards his stepmother and his brother. Because that was still within his heart, he was not feeling very happy. It says in the previous verse 4.929, in purpose Srila Prabhupada was saying, the Lord fulfilled all Dhruva Maharaj's desires. His revengeful attitude towards his stepmother, his stepbrother was satisfied. His desire for more exalted position than of his great-grandfather was also fulfilled. And at the same time, his eternal position in Dhruvalok was fixed. All the Dhruva Maharaj achievement of an eternal plan was not conceived of by him. Krishna thought, what will Dhruva do with this exalted position within this material world? Therefore, he gave Dhruva the opportunity to rule this material world for 36,000 years with unchangeable sense and chance to perform many great sacrifices. So here, Dhruva Maharaj get achieve all his goals. Still, within his heart, he was not feeling satisfied. And here, so Dhruva Maharaj is lamenting after getting this transcendental knowledge from the Lord. What he did was very regretful, very shameful. He's feeling shameful, lamenting. So, spiritual life is very important. So once we might do something which is not good for our spiritual progress, but then we should reflect. We should self-introspect. So what we did is not correct, and we should try steps to rectify this fault. So here, Dhruva Maharaj, although he has achieved the platform of devotional service and had the darshan of the Lord face to face, he is trying to lament what he has asked, material boon was not proper. So this reflection is very purifying. Although Dhruva Maharaj is a great devotee, is already purified by the Lord's mercy and his personal darshan. He's reflecting on his not being very advanced to ask the Lord for something which is eternal and permanent, like cessation from birth and death, and giving us an eternal service at the Lord's lotus feet. So although the Lord knew with whatever was within the Dhruva Maharaj's heart, he gave all this benediction. So eventually Dhruva Maharaj was able to rule the planets for 36,000 years and perform many great sacrifices and became even more exalted. So eventually he goes back to Godhead. So the Lord sends a Vimana, and Dhruva Maharaj goes in the Vimana. But he's so compassionate because now he has become completely purified. He's lamenting, oh, what will happen to his mother? And then he looks back and he sees his mother is also following him in another Vimana, another plane, another airplane. So it's this extreme compassion. So what we can learn from this verse? There's quite a few takeaway points. One of the most important takeaway point is that keeping some revengeful attitude destroys our spiritual progress. Never mind how minute or small it is very important. That any baggage we are carrying within us, whether being spiteful, revengeful, or having done something wrong, if there's no lamentation, there's no prashchitta, true feeling of remorse, our spiritual progress is going to be truncated. It's going to be destroyed or stopped or not go ahead as we expect. So one we have to really be introspective, self-reproach, what we have done, what mistakes are we making, so we can make progress. This is what Dhruva Maharaj is doing. He's lamenting, he's reflecting, he's doing self-approach, feeling remorseful for his inability to ask for a boon, which is very, very important in serving the Lord, getting out of this cycle of birth and death and becoming eternal servant of the Lord. So this is a reflection. So this goes for all of us. So this keeping our mind, our heart clear of all revengeful attitude, any unethical feeling within the heart should be cleared as soon as possible. Otherwise, it will become impediment to our spiritual progress. Even a small thing within the mind, within the heart, can be a big impediment for spiritual progress. I'm just giving an example. In my profession, I used to make this color dyes for candy canes. There's one special color called Poncho red. It's a very, very intensely concentrated color. So if you have a small amount, it just goes, water, you put on 1 liter water, it just spreads like anything. Very, very hard to see. So after making this color in liquid form, when you clean the paraphernalia for the next batch, even a small amount hiding in a corner, if you just wash it, the whole bowl gets red. So just a tiny bit, if you're not very easily seen, can contaminate the whole next batch. So what I'm saying, these tiny things within our heart, within the heart, if something hiding like this, we might not see it, or we might see it's insignificant, but if we don't act on it in a timely manner, it can become a big hindrance to our spiritual progress. So sometimes we might offend somebody and we say, oh, it's not a big issue, he offended me, or I can do it, I don't have to apologize. But because the heart is not clear, this is still within the heart, it will definitely act as an impediment. So very important, devotees, to keep our heart very clean. Any small issue we should try and rectify as soon as possible by introspection, lamentation, or self-reflection, or feeling of intense shame. Or so when the desires there, the Lord sees that our desire is very, very sincere, He will assist us in rectifying these issues within the heart. So this is the rectification. One is that we have to become aware that there is a mistake, and this is the first step, and this is a rectification step. And how that is, okay, the humility and all takes care of the rectifies a mistake. But how it comes about? By pure devotional service. Although we might not be in the stage of pure devotional service, by the grace of the Lord, we can, as we mentioned in this chapter 10, verse 9 and 10 and 11, the Lord within the heart gives the intelligence by which we can come to Him. So the Lord within us guides through the spiritual master or the devotees or the acharyas how to rectify this. Just by hearing the Srimad Bhagavatam Katha every morning, so many anarthas within the heart get burnt up. So it's very important to continue with the devotional service. That will help us to open up our heart and see all the impediments within the heart so we can get clear and we can make spiritual progress. So this is a transformation. So the result is transformation. Here we can see Dhruva Maharaj also for this banishment, he is being transformed just by reflecting, by lamentation, his approach of feeling ashamed, and he being self-reflective, self-reproach. He's purifying. He's getting on a different level. Although he's already been blessed by the Lord with all the conclusion of Vedic knowledge, but he just for teaching us, he's saying this. This revengeful desire for his stepmother and his brother was hurting his spiritual progress. He said he gave it up. So a very, very important lesson from this is that we have to rectify these small issues within the heart. That was going to be very, very difficult. We can also see this in case of acharyas giving lessons, how to rectify us, how to reproach, self-reflect. In case of Ramanacharya, you might know that Ramanacharya was serving Srilingam temple, and he is the founder of Acharya, the Sri Sampradaya. A very, very great devotee. He lived for 125 years. So he was preaching in Srilingam, and he became very popular, very famous. And the head pujari of Sri Lingam temple also is supposed to be very elevated. He was becoming a bit envious of Ramanujacharya, so much so that he planned to kill him. Just imagine a devotee serving the Lord, personally, becoming this, the enviness within the heart comes through, and he plans to kill Ramanujacharya. So one time he invited his Ramanujacharya to his home for prasadam, and his wife knew of the plan. So before the head pujari came to home, his wife was become very remorseful. What is going to happen is not very good. So when Ramanujacharya came to his home, his wife just broke, the wife of the pujari broke down and informed Ramanujacharya what is happening. Ramanujacharya just left. So he was saved the Lord. But then the envious pujari did not give up his plan. So next time Ramanujacharya came for darshan the deity, in the chanamita, this pujari, head pujari, put poison which is so powerful, even a small amount can kill a big elephant. So Ramanujacharya came for darshan, he had a good darshan, and the pujari offered him chanamita. By his Shikhar Jnani vision, Ramanujacharya knew this chanamita got poison. Still, by praying to the Lord, please purify this. He just took the chanamita. And the pujari thought, oh, he has achieved his goal. So Ramanujacharya, being a great devotee, he was able to absorb the poison, just like Lord Shiva absorbed the poison during the manthan, Samudra manthan. So when Ramanujacharya went outside and was discussing philosophy with his students and well-wishers, he was glowing like anything. And when the pujari saw that incident, how is this poison is so powerful, it can kill even a big elephant. And here Ramanujacharya is not affected at all. And within his heart, by Ramanujacharya's mercy, it came that he made a great mistake. He started lamenting, so much so he ran to Ramanujacharya and paid his obeisance, and he started hitting his head on the stone in front of him, so much so that his blood started coming out. He was extremely remorseful, self-hurt. He asked for forgiveness. So this remorsefulness, this lamentation saved the devotee. Just Ramanuja blessed him to not be lamenting like it, but give up his desire, that is enviousness desire within the heart. And the pujari agreed, and he became a great devotee later on. So we can see in this case that just by lamenting, so much ahimsa, or so much envious, jealousy within the heart became purified by the touch of the Acharya. But what was the condition? It was a great lamentation, great reflection, great feeling of same remorsefulness and sincerity to advance. By giving up this, the pujari became a great devotee. So we have to learn that these small things within our heart, if we are not taken care, we eventually become a big hindrance in the spiritual progress. We also see in the case of Yamunacharya, a great teacher in Sri Sampradaya, he is regarded as the spiritual master of Ramanujacharya, although Ramanujacharya had many mentors. So Yamunacharya also was a young scholar, child, and he was very brilliant. So once it happened, there's in the ashram, where his ashram was, there's a king. The king is a great pandita, and he will defeat everybody. Once defeated, the devotees who became defeated had to serve him, and sometimes he was also killing them. So the population was getting quite disturbed by this pandita's arrogant pandita's doing. So they were trying to conquer him, how to defeat him in argument and debate. So one time, this pandita, the arrogant pandita, king pandita, sent his agent to Yamunacharya's ashram, And Yamunacharya's spiritual master was not there. So they asked him, where is your master? We want him to come and debate with the king's Pandita. So Yamunacharya said, no, my spiritual master away, but I can take up the challenge. In this last laughing, oh, all big great debaters have been conquered. How is this young person gonna stand against the great Pandita? But Yamunacharya said, no, it's not an issue. So when his Guru Maharaj came back, he narrated the whole thing, and his spiritual master gave him the permission. He circumambulated his Guru Maharaj, and the king sent a Palakiam to debate with this great scholar. And the great scholar was defeated by this young brahmachari, so much so that the king asked him to be beheaded. But Yamunacharya, being very merciful, spared this punishment. And eventually, the king, the wife had a wager. Before the debate took place, king's wife told the king, this young brahmachari will defeat this your arrogant Pandita. And the king said, no, he cannot, no one can defeat him. So they had a wager. Okay, if he defeats the arrogant Pandita, if he defeats him, then you give him half your kingdom. And if you get defeated, then I'll become your servant. So this is the queen's giving a wager. So when Yamunacharya defeated the urban scholar, the king was, so the king gave half his share of the kingdom to Yamunacharya. And Yamunacharya became a great king. And eventually he was rescued. And when he again became a great renunciate, became Acharya, and took up the care of the Srirangam temple. So when he was thinking about this, he said these special words. He said, just thinking about my life as a king, when I think of sex, I spit on it. He was so lamentful. What he did previously was very, very unethical for his spiritual progress. He was lamenting. He became great Acharya, and he rescued Ramacharya from the Mayavad philosopher to become a great devotee again. So we can see these small things and wisdoms within the heart keeps of spiritual progress very, very, very hard to actually. It stops our spiritual progress. So very important to take care of our anathas, work on them with most full lament, and get advice of Guru, Krishna, devotees, reflect on it and come back and to rectify this and have transformation and come back to spiritual life. So this is a very important verse in the sense that it's teaching us not to have revengeful attitude, how to be reflective, self-approach, reflecting, and just getting rid of anarthas, biases in the devotees, and then how to look at everyone in the platform of Pandita Samadarshana, as Prabhupada mentioned. So not to have issues with being friends, enemies, duality. This is creating a lot of issues. Even current situation, we can see the war going in Ukraine and Russia. Just by not having this spiritual knowledge, so much misery is being inflicted on everybody, both sides. So this very, very important transcendent knowledge, Guru Maharaj is inspiring us through the Srimad Bhagavatam, and by the purpose of Srila Prabhupada, we are very fortunate to come to this this very, very important knowledge which can bring us closer to Krishna and Guru. So I'll end here. Thank you very much for your patience and listening to me. I humbly ask your forgiveness if I have said anything not according to the Shastra, according to my wishes of Srila Prabhupada, my Guru Maharaj. I ask your forgiveness. Vanchakarpadruvesha, Paasandhavevacha, Patitanam Pavanidyo, Vishnavidyo Namano. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Bhakti Prabhupada. So anybody got any reflection, comments you can share? Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam.
And Pranam Prabhuji.
What a classic outline we have.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Yes, Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Dandavat Pranam
Dandavat
Prabhuji.
Pranam,
Thank
Prabhuji.
you so much Prabhuji. Very nice class with so many stories, Prabhuji, Ramanujacharya stories. Really, yeah, it is. We don't know many stories. So first time we are hearing. So nice, Prabhuji. And the topic you are saying about the importance of devotional service. So it is very, it is a heart touching, Prabhuji, actually, the examples. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Anybody else?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yes, you nicely outlined text in a very good way. And the example, that's color. A stint of color, that example really is very, very good one, which loses the potency of the next batch. It's really a very, very exemplary situation for all of us. We do all these mistakes, but we never repent. So it's a very good lesson for all of us. And lamentation and repentation is very, very important. That the two sides of real spiritual advancement, that gives us a pointer that where we are situated. And you have nicely explained the reason with examples. Very nice. And then last one is the Ramanujacharya example. Is very, very great. So this is a very good lesson for all of us. Thank you very much. We should take it a point and the very important verse for our spiritual advancement. Hope it will give us some light to us so that we move in the right direction without deflecting either side. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much for your very nice comments, Prabhuji. I'll take that on board. Thank you. Anybody else?
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam.
Siddha Mataji.
I'll take your point that keeping in our mind, give up the revengeful attitude. Yeah, it's a big point. That tiny thing in our heart become a big hindrance, and how it's how we should lament and how should be that our rectification with pure devotional service by the grace of Lord, by the devotees. This is very nice point, and I will take this one in my purposes, that give up the revengeful attitude and forgive to all. Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you, Mataji. Such a very nice point.
Yeah.
Thank you, Prabhu. So
Yeah.
thank you
Also
for sharing.
that example of that Ramanujacharya and Jamunacharya's example is also very nice. We did not know that. I learned
Yeah, there are
today.
many, many great examples from the life of Ramanujacharya. If you read this,
Yeah.
oh, that's amazing.
Yes, I did not know that. Yeah, first time I heard. Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank
Good
you.
enlightening class.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. I'd like to also thank Prajna Prabhu and Mataji. He gave me some notes, which I only saw this morning. So he was supposed to give a class because his wife got suddenly taken to hospital. He sent me the notes last night, which they had made to give this class. But I just this morning I saw it, and it was a bit late to share those notes. But it was a very wonderful note, if I remember, especially about the oneness of the Lord, how one should look at the oneness. Mayavadis look at oneness as being equal or being merging in the Lord, which is not very proper, it's very offensive. But the devotees look oneness as being engaged in the devotional service of the Lord. There's quite a bit of reflection on that. There were quite a few points which I didn't have time to sort of share with you, although I just received those notes just about half an hour before I gave this class. So I'd like to thank them for sending these notes to me and giving this opportunity to share this verse on their behalf. Thank you. We also wish and pray that Ananya Mataji get a speedy recovery and get discharged from the hospital very soon. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Anybody else like to give a point before we stand?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, please accept my respectful obeisances. Prabhuji, it was my desire to hear Srimad Bhagavatam from your realizations and experience, and it was fulfilled today. Thank you, Prabhuji. The example that you gave about the die gives us this, that really clarifies my understanding on this basis that the soul definitely has been dyed in such a state that it will take a lot of time for all of us to remove that dark tinge from of lust, anger, greed, because I realize that it's very easy to think of revenge, it's very easy to be envious, but it's very difficult to be lamenting. So thank you, Prabhuji, for enlightening us on this. It was very, very beautiful class. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Madhu, for your comment. I really appreciate that. I think I should thank Shyama Mataji, so she is, and Kadam Kana Prabhu for giving me this opportunity. She has gone on my head for quite a few times for me to give a class, but I've been I've been sidestepping it for many days. So they caught me last night. We were at the one program in Flatbush, and when this news came that Prabhuji won, we really got class, and immediately Shyama Mataji and Prabhuji honored me. Said, Prabhuji, this is the time. I say, I'm going to work. I want to give a class. And we asked Bilamangal Prabhu to give a class. He said, I'm also going to school. So the honors fell on my head. So I was thinking, oh, what am I going to do? There's not much time. So anyway, I did some preparation last night, and the notes came. Prajnaya Prabhu sent this note this morning. So just made up everything up. So I really like to thank Shyama Mataji and Kadam Kanan Prabhuji, also Prajnaya Prabhu, to give me this opportunity to share this verse with everyone. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Okay, we'll end here.
Yeah, we like to hear you often.
Yeah, after a long time.
Yeah, we like to hear you often, Prabhu. Your
Thank you.
realization, yeah, so
Thank
nice.
you. Thank you for your appreciation. Yeah, I like to hear from younger devotees their realization. Been old timers, so we got very inflexible views, very hard to share. So I thought, if young people come up with a new vision, Prabhupada vision, especially devotees who done Bhakti Sastri, they can share their realization. It will be so wonderful. For these are the next generation. Our generations should be coming to an end very shortly. So it's good to train new people to take up this mission of Srila Prabhupada to the next level. Thank you. That's why I was shying away from giving classes and trying to get younger devotees to share their realization. Thank you, Madhu. Okay, we'll end here. Thank you very much for joining us this morning. Srimad Bhagavatam class. We'll see you tomorrow morning. Vanchakalpadruvecha, Kipavasindhuvecha, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
His grace, Nanda Braj Prabhu ki jai.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Gaur Bhattan, Gaur Prabhu, Hari Hari Bol. Jai.